Hello, greetings to one and all. This is Jack Lookman. Welcome you to our series, Jack's Curated Business Ideas. Today's topic is empowering online beggars. Empowering online beggars. Please note in the presentation that the words beggar, service user, or or client may be used interchangeably. Now, what's the inspiration for this topic? From time to time, I encounter beggars on social media. They tell a story and then beg for assistance. Some repeat this cycle over and again. They are very tenacious. Do I teach them how to fish, or do I continue feeding them with fish? Now let's talk about the idea. Since most of them are apparently educated and maybe computer literate, since there is a lot of content online, and since I'm a mentor and coach, to add to that, I'm a potential philanthropist and entrepreneur. Why don't I leverage these bits and pieces and make a positive difference? Now, in terms of accountability, the beggars shall be accountable for their actions or inactions. Like he said, nothing ventured, nothing gained. You also need to search before you can find. So these are some accountability issues for the beggar. Now let's talk about assignments. You shall give the beggar assignments periodically. These could be multiple choice or open-ended. They shall be submitted digitally. There shall be rewards for early submission and sanctions for late submission. There shall also be cumulated rewards and sanctions for good and poor performance. Now, what are the benefits for the beggars? Well, you have things like empowerment and inspiration, skill enhancement, improved mindset, improved confidence, added societal value, optimized skills and passion, opportunities for side or full hustles, enhanced income. Now for the beggars, you want to encourage him to partake in acts of charity from time to time. These could be kind words or assistance with his strength or guidance to those who seek it, or putting smiles on sad faces, etc. I would encourage the beggars to do some or more of these acts of charity. Now, checks and balances. For the business, you need to put systems and structures in place to mitigate fraud, to prevent abuse of process, etc., and to make the business and process more effective. You might want to ask yourself, could I profit from this business? In monetary terms, there may not be much reward. However, in adding value to society, there may be great reward. Those whom you empower might be there for you if the tides change. Your acts of charity could open doors of greater success. It could give you recognition and maybe collaborative opportunities. Now let's talk about the courses which you'll be offering the beggars. You could create relevant courses or signpost the beggars accordingly. By signposting them, you could get affiliate marketing commissions. Endeavor to signpost them to courses which will benefit them. You could also make a contribution or get the beggars to pay the full amount for the courses. If they don't make a contribution, they will not value such courses. Curriculum. This shall be work in progress, to be updated as necessary, to be tailored to each beggar. You could collate a bank of content and then share to individual beggars as necessary. You could do this via a blog or other means. Now, dressing for the beggars. Encourage them to dress well and look good, to make himself presentable. If he can't afford new clothes, he should explore second-hand clothes. This might be a gateway to opportunities. Excuse me. Now let's talk about expectation management. Right from the onset, manage the expectations of service users, that's the beggars. Manage their expectations. Let them know what is expected of them and let them know what to expect in return. Let them be aware of the phrase, garbage in, garbage out. Let them also be aware that optimal results demand optimal effort, and that results don't happen overnight, as well as the fact that maybe only a small percentage of service users may become millionaires. Now, in terms of funding the business, to fund this business model, you may require investors or collaborators. You may seek donations. You may seek grants. You may crowdfund. You may seek sponsors, etc. Now let's talk about incentives. In order to keep your clients engaged, you may need to incentivize them. You may give them financial or other rewards progressively. Now let's talk about interest audit or their passion audit. Get a list of their interests, things that they enjoy doing, or topics that they enjoy reading about or listening to or watching. Marry their interests with their skills. Guide them on optimizing both. The beggar could leverage this sooner or later and optimize its potential with less pain. Now let's talk about legalities. You need to include relevant disclaimers. You need to protect yourself against any possible litigation. You need to effectively manage expectations. You might consider having an online contract or agreement. You may need to update legal documents as necessary. You need to comply with relevant legislations as appropriate. For example, the General Data Protection Regulation. You need to be proactive in protecting yourself legally. You could do this yourself or engage the services of professionals. Now let's talk about leveraging online content. There's so much content on the internet, in text, audio, and video, and a lot of them are free. You could take advantage of this and signpost the beggars accordingly. You could also guide the beggars on how to search for useful content. Now let's talk about marketing plan. You could do your marketing via referrals, word of mouth, social media marketing, email marketing, email signature, influencer marketing, testimonials, sales funnel, etc. Now let's talk about mentoring and coaching. As you journey through the process, you get to know the serious and genuine beggars. You could do some filtering and invest in this selected few. You might incentivize them and give them much greater value. You may purchase deeper courses and help them on a lifelong journey. They might even partner with you in doing what you do. This may end up later as a great fairy tale. Now let's talk about mindset. You need to work on the beggar's mindset. You could do this yourself or via useful online content. You could automate the process and have multiple choice questions and answers. If they have the right mindset, most of the job is done. You could then build on strong foundations. Now let's talk about the monetization plan. This isn't really a money-making scheme. It's more about improving societal value. However, you could find ways to monetize by having a donation button where donors might chip in money now and again, by having sponsors, by doing affiliate marketing, by having adverts on your platforms, by leveraging Google AdSense, etc. Now let's think about the name of the course or the business. Think of a good name, something that's concise, memorable, relevant. For the website, consider a .com URL or .net, etc. Some examples of your website might be bara.com, beggar.com, helpme.com, supporter.com, supportme.net, don'tbeg.com, opportunity.com, etc. Now let's talk about networking. Encourage the beggars to partake in useful networking. Opportunities may therefrom come. These could be at social engagements, either domestic, at work, or otherwise. You never know from where opportunity will come. You could also encourage them to partake in beneficial voluntary work. And for the networking as well, apart from the networking being physical, it can also be online. They might join suitable social media platforms, or you might signpost them to such, or teach them how to look for such. Now let's talk about opportunities. It's an opportunity to give back to society, also to build social capital. You could add immense value to society. You could monetize. You could make the beggars more independent. You could learn skills along the way. You could be recognized by unseen observers. Opportunities may beckon from least expected sources. It's an opportunity to be charitable. Let's talk about platforms. The platforms for discharging your activities could include a blog, YouTube channel, TikTok, Facebook, social media, WhatsApp, podcast, membership site, email, etc. Now let's talk about the process or processes. If the beggar approaches, carry out text interview as necessary. Send them a questionnaire. Give them an initial small stipend. Stipends could be given in stages. The questionnaire shall capture their skills and interests. It shall also capture their hopes and aspirations. You shall then share relevant content from the internet. This could be text or video or maybe audio. This could particularly be from YouTube. Give them assignments as necessary. Give them additional stipends as necessary. Shared content shall also be on mindset, as well as useful content for side or full hustles. Set targets as necessary. Encourage them. At the end of the process, they should be empowered and inspired. They could be more self-sufficient. You could have a spreadsheet of categorized YouTube videos. You could share this with the beggars as necessary. Some of the processes could actually be automated. Now let's talk a bit about psychology. As the process continues, you need to leverage psychology. Why they should not beg. Why they need to make effort. how they could improve their earnings, how they could add value to society, how they could improve their self-esteem, how they could have self-belief, how they could optimize their potential, etc. Now let's talk about questionnaire. Ask questions about their skills, about their interests, about their strengths, about their past, about their plans for the future, about their present. Also ask questions about what's impeding their progress. Ask questions about how they intend getting out of the rut. Get their contact details and bank details. Ask questions about their ambition and aspirations. Ask about their role models, etc. Now, what are the requirements for the beggars that you choose to empower and inspire? They shall be literate. They shall have basic information technology skills. They shall have a bank account. They shall be truthful. They shall commit to the process. They shall have a positive mindset. They shall take action. They shall share social media handles, etc. Now let's talk about research and development skills. The beggars shall be taught basic research and development skills, especially how to research content on YouTube or other social media platforms, how to leverage such content, how to manage expectations from the content, how to avoid scams, how to save content for later use. Now, let's talk about their role models. Get the list of the client's role models. This could also be on the application. This could guide you on his interests. You could then tailor relevant content accordingly. Also, get a list of the content he consumes. Ask for the links from the past week. These could be content on social media and their links. You could guide them on how to do this. Now let's talk about scholarships. For those beggars who've excelled through your processes, consider giving them scholarships. This could be within your budget and should be realistic. You could either seek for funding for this or signpost the beggars accordingly. If you haven't got the funding, you may seek this. You could also purchase beneficial digital products for them. Now let's talk about side hustles. Expose and guide the beggar to different side hustles. Let him pick and choose as necessary. Prepare his mindset. Nothing good comes easy. Guide him on searching for this himself. Set him targets and review results. Keep a database or spreadsheet of beggars or the service users. And that's both current beggars and past beggars. And of course, current and past, yes. Now let's talk about the sign off. You may sign off the service users based on your discretion. Some may leave early, some may stay longer. However, upon sign off, excuse me, however, upon sign off, ensure that they don't return except as supporters of the cause. And of course, don't forget to have their details on your mailing list. You could market and remarket products and services to them. Now we've talked about signposting in the past, but you can signpost beggars to useful content, especially on YouTube. The content should align with his short and long-term goals. Teach him how to search for similar content. Teach him how to fish and not always about expecting fish. Now a bit about skills audit. Let him list his skills. You could interview him and add to this. Alternatively, you could send him a tick box of different skills. This shall help align your support to his areas of strength. Now let's talk about skills enhancement. In the course of you administering the process, you may actually acquire hidden and obvious skills. The service users shall also do likewise. At the end of the journey, it ends up with all parties being winners. Excuse me. Now let's talk about spirituality. Encourage the beggars to explore their spiritual side, to seek guidance and wherewithal, and to pray for success and better fortune. Now, what are the threats to this business? Some threats include abuse of process, fraud, time wasters, getting adequate funding. Now, in conclusion, the presentation was basically about adding value to online beggars, to society, and maybe to yourself. You may or may not make financial gain, but it could open opportunities for you sooner or later. This business may be good as a non-governmental organization, or maybe a charity, or maybe as a social enterprise. We hope that you got some value. If so, please consider liking, sharing, subscribing, and reposting. Also, please consider checking out our other platforms by visiting jacklookmanlimited.com. We are on social media, blogs, membership site, and I've written several books. This is Jack Lookman signing off. Ireo, Irekabiti.